So let's talk about raising money from investors. A lot of people are very interested in this topic. It's a common topic for entrepreneurs, and so let's talk about it. A lot of tech companies get investments from professional tech investors. I realize not all businesses are tech businesses, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But for investors, a very kind of attractive company to invest in is a tech company, typically because there's a lot of innovation. Sometimes there are new markets created. Sometimes there are existing markets taken over. Big opportunities, high growth. That's what investors like, and that's what they kind of look for. So if that sounds like your kind of business, well, you have a lot of incubators around. You know, the biggest one is Y Combinator, but of course there's many smaller ones, and you can just look up a list on Google, like, you know, incubators, tech incubators, and you'll see a ton of them. Of course, you can also raise money, investment from friends and family. That's not always available for all people because obviously a lot of people don't even want to raise money from family because you don't want to ruin those relationships. But you know, if it's an option, then it's an option. Then it becomes a little harder because then you're getting into professional kind of seed investors who may give, you know, the incubators, by the way, they tend to give, you know, maybe $20,000 to your entire team, $25,000 for 3 months just to get you guys off the ground. Whereas seed investors, they might go 50,000, 100,000, sometimes possibly more, depending on your business. And then angel investors, there's a little bit of a blurry line because sometimes angel investors, they might invest as much of a Series A round. Sometimes they might invest as low as a seed round. It depends on a lot of factors. You know, how attractive your company is, how much you need, all that. You know, what stage you're in, all that kind of stuff. And of course, a lot of these guys, they want to get in the first round, right? They want to be the first investors in. That's one of the things they really care about. And of course, once you get into later stages of your company, hopefully, you know, it keeps growing and growing, then you can start raising venture capital money. But almost no company, even though they make the news, and those companies make the news and they get a lot of press, almost no company ends up raising actual venture capital money. That's very rare, very rare. It's just that perception is skewed because those guys get all the attention in the news. And I'll have later in the course, I'll have a website, a tutorial for a website, AngelList, where you can kind of see all the investors, all the tech investors that there are, and see which ones kind of invest in the kind of business that you might have. So just a note, right? So we kind of talked about the tech investment side. There's a lot of hype in that space. But not all businesses are investable, right? My business is not investable, right? I'm a one guy, online guy, right? I wrote a book, you know, are books investable? Not really. Well, not really, right? Not like a venture capital or a seed investor, not in that way. Are online courses investable? Not really. You know, I made some mobile apps. Those can be investable, but not mine. Mine were a little bit small market, according to the investors that I talked to. Maybe they weren't right, although in the end, I think they ended up being right. But in any case, so you see a lot of businesses, and even if you're a local business, like a cleaning business, a dentist, that's not really investable a whole lot, right? Not like you're not going to get the high growth, right? So a lot of service-based businesses, like a part of my business is coaching. It's hard to invest in a coach, right? It just doesn't scale like a tech business. So a lot of businesses, that sort of like high growth tech investors, that wouldn't work for a lot of other businesses, right? That just isn't an option for them. They're just not investable. Like in that way, you can still get investment from friends and family, but not from the high growth seeking investors. So how do you get investment if you're not in that kind of a business? Well, what I would do is, in whatever niche you're in whatever business you're in, take a look around you for competitive businesses and begin to slowly network, right? Because some people will like be very kind of secretive and want to keep you at a distance because, oh my God, you're a competitor. But you'll be surprised how many people will be open and receptive to giving you advice and helping you. And what you want to do is sort of network within your niche and look at how did your competitive businesses who are more established, who started before you, how did they get an investment? Is there a certain person that invested in this kind of business? Like, is there a group of people, or do they have to raise money in different ways, right? So whatever they did, learn from them, see what worked for them, and try that. So sometimes it's really good to learn from your business peers because they've been through it. It's not theory for them. It's they've done it. They really walk the walk. So that's kind of how investments work. A lot of businesses, they kind of, other than friends and family, are not a whole lot investable by institutional investors or professional investors, whatever you want to call them. That's just a part of it. But at the same time, there are a lot of people who invest in very many different kinds of businesses, and I think you just have to find those individuals. They're harder to find, but if you're resourceful and you keep digging long enough, it will happen for you. But on the same token, if you keep making progress with your business, and progress, you're growing, more people will learn about you, and word will spread, and you'll be surprised that one day somebody might say, hey, I'd like to invest in that, and come to you instead of you coming to them. But that only happens if you'll grow. Okay, so that's investment. That's what you kind of can expect. So that's it.